Hey people, and welcome to my first YouTube video. My name is Francesca. I am an Italian student here in Glasgow, and I am on my final year in media and communication. I wanted to create a YouTube channel for the longest time ever, but 2022 but on this year I actually had the courage to pursue it a little bit more persistently, if that makes sense. So this channel is named Follow Your Questions. Follow Your Questions is pretty much my motto in life. I am a curiosity driven person, and I genuinely believe that once we pursue our questions and we spend our time in trying to research and trying to answering these questions, we actually enrich our knowledge much more, and we are also able to broaden our horizons and create new perspectives for us. So what can you expect in this channel? Well, I am passionate about journalism and specifically human rights and politics. However, this channel will cover many other topics, so don't worry, there's one for everyone. So if you wish to witness any of the progress in this channel, please do subscribe to it. Let's just jump in today's video. As a first topic, I picked up something that I thought it would be easier, but actually as I was preparing this video I was like, it might be something that I will further expand into this channel as it's a very broad topic. But more generally, today I wanted to share some of my thought process when selecting articles to which I want to attain my information from, and just more in general give you some tips on how to recognize factual news rather than fake news. Let's start acknowledging and understanding the basis of what a fake news is not. A fake news is not a piece of information that you just decide to reject because it clashes with your political or religious beliefs. And I know we tend to do this quite often when a piece of information seems to be quite uncomfortable for us to acknowledge. Um, we're very quick to describe that as fake news. I'm really sorry to break it down for you, but it's not. Sometimes it's really not fake news. More simply, a news is fake when it's just not factual. And this brings me to the next disclaimer. Um, News are basically information that is being shared through the form of a story. Stories are written by and human most of the times are influenced by their background, political and religious orientation. There are so many variables that come into play, and at times, yeah, even if the news is primarily factual, it can have that twist from the person that wrote the story. So I think that we have to keep that in mind as well. And this brings me to the tip number one that I have. Always check what kind of article you're reading. Is that an opinion column? Is that a paid article? Or is it just satire? Well, when it comes to a paid article, I mean, you know it, there are money involved in it. So can I fully trust this piece of information? I don't really know. The second point is, do not try to formulate your own opinion while you're reading somebody else's opinion. I find it really useful at times to read opinion columns. I think it's really great to get an insight on other people's opinion and perspectives. However, do not make that your main source of information. And then there's a satire. I keep on seeing on Facebook um, a specific demographic, um, and fellow millennial and Gen Zs know exactly who I'm talking about. But yeah, there's a specific demographic on Facebook that keeps resharing this clearly satirical articles and just being so outraged by it, not understanding what that article is actually meant for. It's just entertainment in times. So yeah, always look what kind of article you're reading. And then tip number two, this is quite complex, but I always ask myself, is this fact checked? I just figured out that sometimes most of the alternative news are, in fact, just an alternative to truth. So you might ask, how do I know when something is fact checked, which is the point of all this video? And here it comes to tip number three, always check the source. What media or organization are we talking about? Who wrote the article? Research around the journalist that wrote the article. Do read around. What are other media sources saying about the same issue? I think that only after that you can start formulating your understanding around a piece of information. Tip number four, read beyond the headline, please. I know that these days it's quite hard because, attention span and everything, but please, for the truth's sake, just read the whole article, please, please. Now it's tip number five, be really skeptical when you read those viral claims. We saw a lot of them during the pandemic. We keep on seeing them in regards to the vaccines. Be really aware of those viral claims. I'm just saying that. It's not really easy to spot them, but from my understanding, these viral claims always come with sensational and outraged language. That's when you know that something might not be absolutely factual. And then we have tip number six, watch out for polarized news. Yes, it's even worse than biased. I really want to call it polarized. It's even worse. I recently read about this phenomenon called social cognitive polarization, and is it just basically describes how an individual usually tends to become more radical in his opinion when confronted with a heated group discussion. And most of the times, articles can perpetuate these sentiments that are being carried through social media. So, after you read that article and you feel much more radical in your thinking, you might want to question that. Is it just a trend, or is it actual factual? Is it actual factual? Well, wherever. Is that a factual news, simply? And that was everything from me today, guys. I hope you found these tips to be helpful. And if you have any more in mind and you don't mind sharing, just drop it on the comments. And again, if you're interested in watching more future content, just subscribe to the channel. I also have an Instagram account. It's currently private, but just send me a request. I just rather have it private for now, but who knows in the future. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video, and I hope you have a lovely time. Bye!